Hello once again. Welcome to episode 159 of New Meta Podcast. We finally made it back to a normal episode. Feels like it's been a while. Marco and Adam join me as always. Marco, what's going on? We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about crappy pub Dota. Long gone is the time of observing pros and real Dota. Now we're back to some good old trench gameplay.
The best kind of gameplay.
Yeah, exactly the kind of Dota that we know and love. None of this nonsense with coordination and
I know,
P&A.
yeah. The coordination was the first word that I was going to say, so we're coordinated on that at least.
Yeah, well,
that's about it.
Yeah. Adam, likewise, welcome to the pods. Actual pub Dota for the win.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Smile.
Yeah, well, you're all about the RD2L organised 5-man captains modes. That's your life now.
I'm going to start playing again, unranked. I think.
Have you not been playing?
Not ranked, not in a long time.
Oh, you said you're going to go back to ranked.
I think so.
Oh, shit, Adam's going to get 7k.
That's exciting.
That's like 1,000 MMR away. There's no way.
That's what we said when you were like Ancient
5K.
1 or something.
Yeah.
If Team Spirit can win TI, then you can get 7k. There you go. Yeah, man, I need to get back to the ranked as well, though. A little bit. I need to find like a little run. I need to find like a weekend where there's just nothing going on. It's coming up to winter. There'll be a weekend where it's just pissing it down with rain, and there are no friends anywhere, and I can just dust off the ranked gameplay. Well, we'll see. In terms of today's episode, though, we're going to be talking about games, which we haven't done for a while, and then the sort of post-TI meta game. We haven't played too much ranked, so we don't have maybe the best to go off other than the stats, but we always go off the stats, so that should be fine. And then we'll talk about heroes that aren't loved by the pros that are still good. And maybe we'll talk about unpicked heroes at TI and what they need, but maybe that'll be next week. We'll have to see how we go. First of all, though, without any further ado, how have games been? Do we have an RD2L corner, Adam? Are we still ploughing through RD2L, through TI?
Yeah, it didn't go great this week. Lost.
Long gone are the days of 6.
We were 7-3 with 2 of those losses being against Husker, so it's basically 7-1. But then we lost 2 games today or this week. Very sad.
Rough. How's the offlane adventure going? Still going all right? Enjoying yourself?
It's okay. I played Mag one game. It was a little too hard to coordinate, to do everything when the other teams got like Tinker with Hex and a Lion with Hex and a Night Stalker with Silence and an Alk with a Basher and Concoction. It is very hard to make your BKB last long enough to not get stunned. Put it that way. To do your full combo, even with Refresher BKB, the BKB just doesn't last long enough. So that was a real bummer. And then we lost to a Mag in the second game, which was also a real bummer. Yeah, it was just not fun, to be honest. Not fun to wait 30 minutes for their mid to show up, and then we got tinkered and arc wardened, and it's like, why am I playing this league? If it's just
sweat. Yeah.
Somebody just plays tinker and arc warden, and you just lose because they just kill your low tier heroes.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
No one wants to play against Arc Warden in a organised game of Dota. It just sounds rough.
But we still have a chance at the playoffs. Also, our mid quit, so that happened. Yeah, so that was our first 2 games with our new mid. It's like it's just a comedy of errors.
Have you downgraded?
It's like the same. It's the same rank.
The morale though is crushed.
Yeah, it's just like we're crushing it. We were 6-2 with the other guys mid because I had to play mid for 2 games. But he just didn't want to play mid. And we're like, okay. That's why he quit. He did not want to play mid, and it's like, well, he can play off lane, and he wanted to play carry, and it's like our other immortal is carry, and he's also the captain. So it's like, well, that's not going to happen. So
wow, the team couldn't find a compromise, and it imploded. The POS 1 just wouldn't budge.
Well, I mean,
I don't see why he would.
It's a bit weird to be like, we've played a few games with me as mid, and now I demand to be one. It's like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, he should have voiced it at the start, perhaps, but...
I mean, our one is really good and carries us. So, and I don't understand why... I mean, our mid would go like 10-0. I mean, I know you probably don't like to play mid, but if we're like winning and you're like stomping...
Yeah, what's the downside?
I would think winning would trump, but... It's fine. We'll figure out a way.
4 tense times. Big RD12 updates in the upcoming weeks. See if we can make it to playoffs in the new meta.
Yeah, I've still never made playoffs, so I thought that was all but a shoe-in, and then we lost.
Yikes. Gotta make it to main event. Marco, games? How's it been going for you?
It's funny that you mentioned ranked because I played a ranked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, what a fucking regret that was. Honestly. So there's no one online. I was like, you know what? I'll just play a ranked. I'll play POS 5. I'll play in a quality game. Ranked, I've got good gameplay, good balance, good quality players. I'll play this really good support. So I go in. They first pick Jakiro and Skyroth on the other team, so I'm like, alright, thinking really smart and strategic about it. I'm like, okay, I need to get a healer. I thought Ench could be really good because magic resist, heal strat to get rid of the Sky and Jakiro damage, which they do quite a lot of.
Griefed your team picking second phase as POS 5?
No, we were... I think I just saw the other 2 picks. Oh no, I must have picked second phase then. I definitely saw 2 picks.
Right.
I can't remember.
Maybe you just picked some OP hero first phase, some offlane or something?
Maybe I did pick, second phase. Obviously, Ench is not a hero that I've ever played in ranked, so I went Warlock. Oh, mega snooze POS 5. This is ranked gameplay. I think pretty smart pick for the heal strat. But then we have a Tinker mid. No, they have a Tinker mid. We have an Arc mid. So I'm like, alright, I'm in a pub with a Tinker and an Arc. The 2 heroes Adam just mentioned before. This sounds fun. And then we get absolutely ruffle stomped because Arc Warden gets stomped mid, and then our Mars bottom gets stomped by the Raking. Worse than the Mars was the POS 4 Veno we had on our team. I think POS 4 Veno is in the same league as POS 4 Zeus and a POS 4 Pudge, probably.
Yeah, POS 4 Veno sounds rough.
It is full grief. He was then just hitting Ancients as POS 4 Veno. Mars is feeding. I've got highest kill involvement, like 100% kill involvement, doing bits with W and Fatal Bonds, but it's just an absolute ruffle stomp game. Like, they could have had 2 heralds. Like, I was thinking to myself, this Skyrath and Jakiro, POS 4, POS 5, they literally could have been herald players and the enemy team still wins. How is this balanced? How is this game balanced if those conditions could be met? Like,
I can't believe you played a ranked and put yourself on Warlock. That's rough.
I'm willing to play a POS 5 and a strategically good pick. I'm also blown... Dota buff says we've got a 72% chance of winning based off draft. Poor, I don't know where Dota buff is getting that from.
Your scoreboard says you picked first phase. There's inconsistencies in the story here. You just picked Warlock. You just fancied the Warlock.
Maybe they randomed?
Maybe they randomed, yeah, it's possible.
But I'm sure I saw both of them. It'd be crazy if they did 2 randoms. I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, I thought it was a good pick. But yeah, team was absolutely garbage.
Trapped.
Yeah,
trapped on the Warlock.
Yeah, just I don't know. Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a 10k player playing this +5 Warlock, is the game winnable? Maybe like increases it from 1% to 5%. I don't know.
That's what I always think in my part. I'd love to see Miracle on my
how does a pro play in my position as +5 Warlock in this game? I just don't. And then it made me think, yeah, this is what's sad about playing support and rank, that surely there are some games where you could be 10k and you can't win. But if you were a core, it feels like there's always a chance that you could do an heroic comeback.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that thought. I think that, but I wonder how different that is from the positions. Or if that is true, what's the converse? The converse would be you can be really bad and you can play support and you can get away with it.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. Because this Sky and Jakiro on the enemy team literally could have been Herald and they win the game. It was that Ruffle Stompy.
Yeah, I suppose if you've got Tinker mid, it's like going crazy. Sometimes you don't really have to do much.
Yeah, Arc's just feeding, Mars is feeding, Wraith King's just like one shot in people at 20 minutes in. So yeah, I do think that reverse is true. And then thinking about being a +5, if I'm an 8k +5 in that game, I don't carry it. If I'm an 8k Arc Warden, could be carried.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's no skill ceiling for Warlock.
Yeah, how much can I really
do? The floor is the ceiling is basically the floor.
It's a fucking pancake.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So that was the ranked experience. I'll probably go back just to try and get some quality games, because surely a quality game has to happen. The other notable game was an unranked Shadow Fiend +1, which was mega fun. After watching a Gork video, Falcon Blade, Dragonlance, Shadow Blade, Silver Edge Titanic, I think, and the right clicks. Fiffle Ogre was just meat shield in the lane, letting me raise right click. Venge auras, it was just disgusting. So, highly recommend.
Yeah. Sounds good. In terms of my games, 3 heroes, having a lot of fun on 3 heroes. Rubik, which is just a stellar hero for me, statistically, stats don't lie. And then Void Spirit and Mag. Only played a couple of Mag, but everyone and their dog's trying to play Mag right now. So Horn Toss is just really, really fun. And even if you lose, it's still good. I didn't lose, I won both my games, because the hero just... I don't know, it's funny because you look at the stats and it's not very good for ranked, for like solo ranked, but I think in a team when you can communicate you're going to go for a Horn Toss play, or you can communicate I'm going to pick someone here, like be ready for a blow, the hero gives a lot more value. So I had a lot of fun on that. And then the other hero, did I mention Void Spirit? I can't remember. Void Spirit's the 3rd hero, if I didn't mention it. And then I've been having a lot of fun going the sort of spell amp crazy magic damage route, and I've almost rediscovered how sick the hero can be, and I'm not running into the same problems that I used to when I used to build Yule's Ags, and I used to feel like I just fall off and I just turn into this silence with the Ags and very heavy utility and not much damage. But now I do the Yule's Ags properly, where I go for the right talents and then I build into a Kaya to keep the damage output going. If you pick up a Nevershore, even better, and you just maintain that like solo pick off on support. You maintain that level of damage, it feels like, for 5 to 10 minutes longer with the right talents and the right follow-up items. So I feel like my Void Spirit's got a lot better, so that's good. Not a lot to report other than that, though. And this is all just unranked, so need to get the ranked out. Although when I go back to ranked, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back to playing? Yeah, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back to offlane like I was doing, or am I going to go back to mid like the OG or the original, or am I going to put my money where my mouth is and Rubik to Immortal? Smile.
Rubik to Immortal.
Rubik to Immortal.
That's scary.
Yapsar only just about managed to do that. It's a tough question. Maybe you've got to become a random player.
Random player? No, I can't do that. I'm too bad on most heroes. I'm not someone that can just like casually play a Marana 4 and just have
you
impact.
Could queue all roles.
Then I get 5, and that's not ideal.
Yeah, it's tough that, not knowing what to pick.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. If you queue soft support and hard support, you don't need tokens, do you?
No.
Yeah, but you also don't get tokens. You only get tokens if you queue all roles.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you queue just soft support, it uses a token. That sucks. So basically there's no way of queuing long term unless you play hard support. That's unfortunate.
Well, what I used to do was 3-4 games of all 5 picked, and then you're set for 20 games.
Yeah, that's what I did as well. I've got 1 token left, and I had like 35 or something.
Just
What's
play
your
mid?
Oof, yeah.
That's a stand hero.
What mid? Rubik mid.
Pugna.
No, Pugna mid.
Rubik. Stan's Pugna's pretty yikes.
What?
From the statistics.
The statistics? Actually, yeah, I've just got 6 losses in a row. Okay. Let's put that on the back burner. Pugna's pretty fun. Pugna's the hero that I like playing when I'm like playing with people in a stack that are much lower than me in MMR, and you just blow people up and just get Dagon 5 really early and just one-shot people. In ranked, though, it's a bit more challenging. In the right game, though, it's fine. To be honest, though, like, if I was going to play mids, I feel like I could just play Lena and Void Spirit and it would kind of be fine. But anyway,
I've
to deal with when I get there.
Last question. Dying to know what this new alias characters are at the end of your name.
The Chinese characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is it guessable?
No. Actually, yeah, it is. The first 2 characters are guessable.
Is it a phrase or a name or?
It's a name, kind of.
Kind of a name?
No, it's a name. It's a name.
English? Japanese?
No, it's Chinese. It's Chinese characters. And it's, you can guess the first 2 characters because it's the same as the magic T. The first 2 characters are magic.
So.
And then, the third character, I kind of wanted T, but that doesn't really translate. Like, obviously the letter T, there isn't a character for it. So I was like, what am I going to have? I'm going to have to go for like... I was only going to use a character that I know, and I don't know hardly any characters. Well, I don't know hardly any animals in Chinese. And
so all those dashes is just for the magic and then something?
No, it's just magic. Those 2 characters are just magic. There's no the.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? On another level.
Jesus. Alright, so it's magic something.
Yeah, magic. And then the other character is rat, which is just an animal that I know. So it literally is just magic rat. There you go. That's the new alias. But yeah, it's nuts. The magic characters, particularly that first character, it's one of the most complicated characters I've ever seen. And yeah, I don't know why. I guess magic's pretty complicated. I don't know.
Well, they've made it bloody complicated.
I know, yeah. So yeah, that's the new alias. I quite like the characters. A lot of the players, even the Western players, have random like Chinese characters. Maybe because they're sponsored by Chinese betting companies or something, but
sure.
Get in on the trend. In terms of today's topic or things to talk about, I thought it'd be interesting to sort of compare TI meta to pub meta and discuss some of the things that work and some of the things that don't work. Looking at the statistics, at the moment we find ourselves in the all too familiar place where Lycan and Beastmaster top out the win rate percentage in Immortal and Divine, about 37% each, followed by Tinker and Bane, and then Batrider. So immediately, like and Tiny, is this what we should be picking in all of our pubs? I mean, what do you guys think of some of the most translatable strats that you could take from pros to pubs? Is Tiny Carry the way to go? Or is it Clap Smag that's the way to go? What do you think? Solo ranked?
I have seen a lot of Tiny. just from watching and in
Tiny's
games.
pretty good. Yeah.
And
You don't
it does
even
feel
need
good.
you don't need a Lycan for sure. Tiny is a good way to ensure relevance at all stages of the game. I probably should just play Bane every game if I want to go ranked again.
Yeah, Bane seems absolutely nuts. I mean, for a POS 5, when we talked about the impact earlier you can have on a POS 5, and how you can sort of get away with being bad, and maybe the ceiling of your impact is lower, that means it's crazy to have Bane as the 4th most winning hero. Like a POS 5 is the 4th most winning hero in Dota right now. That's very impressive.
Enfeeble, very good.
Yeah.
Nightmare
Underrated.
Save's very good. Laning,
Yeah.
very good because brain sap and high stats.
I think
And
the
then
nightmare
piercing fiend script.
the nightmare saves I feel like have become more common, or at least that we played against some Immortal Bane yesterday that did a lot of them, and it was very, very impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard to pull off. You just gotta do it. You know,
Just gotta press the spell.
you gotta press the spell.
Use
Like
spells.
it's got such a huge forgiving window. It's like a second of invulnerability. It's like you don't have to be a god at timing. You just gotta think, I should use Nightmare to save instead of stop someone.
What do you think about Lycan and Beastmaster then? I feel like in pubs, these heroes are being picked almost exclusively 3. You know, gone are the days of Lycan and carry, I would have thought, unless you guys think otherwise.
Those
And-
aren't being picked for Wolfbite. Those are being picked for No Boots, Helm of the Overlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just both of them. Both of them. No Boots, Helm of the Overlord, push the towers in the game Zoo strat.
Yeah. It's Zoo
Yeah.
Gaming minus the Necro book.
I think pubs just don't know what to do against zoo strats, and I don't think they ever have. Like, whenever they've been mildly strong, they feel really strong in pubs, because often you've got shit heroes for it, or, I mean, you're trying to play as a team against some ball of zoo. The coordination just isn't there, or the understanding
There's
isn't
times
there.
where you just don't pick wave clear,
And you're
or you
fucked.
don't have a way to like deal with the big creep, and you're just like, oh, okay. They got Roche, and now we lose.
Yeah. I would say it's still worth looking at the Ags though. Like after Helm of the Overlord, maybe you've got your BKBs and your ACs like normal, but if you've got a Slark or a Tiny or some hero that's going to make good use of it, then there's nothing wrong with going Ags.
Yeah, it's just like bonus.
Yeah.
It'd be like that's your follow-up thing instead of AC or something, or BKB. I don't know what a Lycan would go second.
Yeah.
I think you can pick Mag. You don't need to coordinate it. You don't need a ranged, or you don't need a melee carry. A ranged carry's fine having 36% bonus damage. That's why like it worked with Luna. I'm sure it works with everybody. And then you still just have Horn Toss RP. Like I think you probably want to pick that over Tide. Although Tide is, based on TI, also strong, but I think Mag's probably better.
I would agree with that. I don't think either of them are that good in solo ranked. It's hard to say. I'm probably biased because of the numbers, and I'm also biased because I hate Tidehunter in general.
It's hard to play a big team fighter solo because you're depending on everybody else to follow up.
Yeah. And yet, Enigma's always at the top of the list. What's going on? I don't understand why this hero is always in the top 10. Seems to always be fine. And even at the moment, when we didn't see it at TI, it's still just hanging around 5% pick rate, 55% or 54% win rate. I don't get this hero. I think that there are just Enigma specialists in Immortal and Divine that just only play the hero. And he's got like a really specialized puddle of Dota players that just are basically Enigma spammers. That's my like pet theory on the hero. I find it odd that he does well.
I think the greed element of Enigma, and it's not a griefy greed. When you've got an Enigma, it's not like someone's gone, oh, I'm a pos 3 ogre that's going to farm in the off lane. It's like, hey, you get your mind, just get gold, but are useless. Enigma, I still feel like, I don't know, maybe the laning's worse than it used to be, but you've always got a really good laning mechanic. You can farm. I imagine some of them will get Helmet Doms, given it's very popular as a 3. And then Enigma is late game, mega strong. If you take it late, as lots of games do, mega strong. You can happily farm pretty greedy, knowing you just get involved when a black hole appears.
You're very good at Roche. Like the pit fight, right? Pretty hard for the other team to do anything.
Yeah. If I think about Tide, I know what you're saying about relying on a big team fight, but if anything, it's the laning that worries me about Tide, and maybe that's because I've played with too many Magic T Tides.
Yeah, I feel like you played the hero.
But I feel like when you did, it went poorly, and I feel like my idea of Tide is that, I don't know, it just feels like you should get wrecked by a Juggernaut or something every time you pick it and just feed.
Like Monkey King.
Or a Monkey King, or an Ursa. Or, I don't know. I feel like Ursa he could maybe map against.
Depends on your lane partner.
Yeah, maybe. But kind of Tide.
There's like some matchups where you're fine solo.
Like a PA.
There's other times you get destroyed. But there's other times you can destroy them. So it all just kind of... I wouldn't be too afraid of a Jug if you got boots and you kind of just like bait it out, spin, and then you just walk up and hit them.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
The other
Stuff
thing
like
about
Monkey King, Lifestealer, Weaver. That's scary.
The other thing that's nice about Enigma in comparison is like the comeback potential. It's greedy, but then it's quite hard to lose a lane, like you're saying, because of demonic conversion. And then in the mid game, if you're under pressure, you can always farm jungle like very efficiently, and you can push out lanes without committing. And some of the other heroes like Titan particularly, but also Mag to an extent, it's harder to do that. At least with Mag you have Shockwave for the lane. That's one of the things that I really like. And the new build, well, not necessarily the new build, but people like to get a couple points in that Shockwave early, like 2-3 points, and then you can nuke range creeps pretty effectively, and then your lane's going to be okay.
Yeah, you just have you have Shockwave Skewer in your back pocket at level 2.
Yeah,
as it's like they came up a little too far. Oh, they're going to the tower now.
Yeah, it's nuts. I love that. It's actually really easy to do in the lane as well. I was playing a lane with Ron Mexico, friend of the pod, yesterday, and we were getting... I was Mag. I want to say maybe he was Rubik, maybe he was Spirit Breaker. Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of Marana. Anyway, and we were getting absolutely bullied by this Undying, just, hands off keyboard, right click on my hero with decay and stuff. And then suddenly we just turn the lane around because we screw him under tower and get first blood just out of nowhere. And that potential is very strong.
Yeah, I think that's a big point to what you were saying is it's easy to pull off. And it used to be Magnus was kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because you had to be good at positioning and you had to have boots because Shockwave didn't move people towards you, and you had to have a stun set up to skewer back or had to actually do things. And now it's just everybody's a Rise because you have 3 repositioning spells and Horn Toss is instant cast, and you just have everything now.
Mm.
And you just you don't have to be a specialist. You just have to play the hero 3 times. You're okay.
Yeah, it's not difficult. And what's the build, or what's the build you like on Mag? I feel like the popular one is Arcane's Blink Mech Shard? Greaves, I guess? But 4-star's an item that I really like if I want to be like a Rise, if you know what I mean. And Shadowblade, maybe. It's interesting to see what you fit in, but then also BKB, I guess, if you need it. Oh, you got some
also
options.
Can do... I think Collapse would do, like, Ring of Health sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, Ring of Health, Arcane Boot, Mech or Blink. One thing that's nice about the Ring of Health is that it does build into a refresher later.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not going to Helm of the Dominator build, because if you're wanting to do that, obviously the Helm is like, the Helm of Iron Will is like way better than the Ring of Health, but if you don't need the armor and you're not going to, not going Helm Dom, then Ring of Health can be okay. Definitely better than a bottle, because you have utility later.
Yeah, interesting. I forgot about the Helm Dom build. That was super common at TI, wasn't it? I feel like it's harder, maybe, in pubs. I don't really know. I just haven't tried it.
It's like you can farm pretty good with it. If you get a Centaur Stomp creep, or like what's the Troll Summoner, the Root creep, that can be pretty good follow-up with your RP, but I think it's a little too cute. You probably can just get away with Mech and Blink.
You can't underestimate the value of Helm of the Iron Will.
Oh, it's super good.
And that, if you can make use of that and realize the value of that HP regen and armor in the first 6, 7, 8 minutes, I feel like there's a shout. And then it's like, yeah, if your Helm Dom impact is mediocre, it's like, whatever. You've got the value from the Helm of the Iron Will.
In terms of other heroes that we saw a lot of at TI, that are doing bad, well, etc., the carry pool, we've got Tiny on the one hand, kind of crushing the stats. The highest rated carry, or like joint with Wraith King, which is maybe another interesting one, because I didn't see too much Wraith King. Then we've also got Spec, which came out twice in the finals, but is one of the worst heroes in the game, statistically, the third worst in the game. Are you surprised that Spec has a 45% win rate in Divine Plus? The hero just seems trash. And
surprising.
Yet it comes out in TI. It's kind of interesting.
Did you say it was in the grand final?
Yeah, it was in 2 of the games. 2 out of 5 games in the grand final. With a score of 1-1, I believe.
I like Spec. Everybody's going to Ags build.
Yeah,
but,
like I say, Abs. Is that the difference? It's harder to make it work.
Blade Ags, I don't... That's like a coordination thing. It's so good if your team is like giving you vision and fighting and giving you something to like use the item on, and you snowball. But if you farming up this 18 or 20 minute Falcon or Echo Saber Ags, and then you don't make use of it, you don't farm any faster. Like, you've really locked yourself into like kind of a very subpar build. But if you are tagging all the, if you're actually haunting all over the place and tagging all these kills, it's insane. Because the other team can never, like, show or be on the map.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Do you think it's just too slow for pubs, I guess? Like, that's what I'd be wondering if I had a Spec on my team. Maybe it's just too slow. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's 1-1 in the grand finals. The game it won was that pure stomp, draft win, Undying, Tinker, Bloodseeker game. I don't really think the Spec had any real part to say. I hate
50-minute draft win. Tough game.
Yeah, that was the one where that game was over at 20.
Yeah, that
was genuinely over at 20.
He was getting a lot of tags on kill. Like, it was working.
Yeah, the tags does work. I feel like in a pub game, I don't know, I feel like in a game where you're not ahead, I'm not convinced. It does feel like Stan says too slow. As a farmer, as a fighter, the impact feels a bit too low. Feels like you need more from your your POS 1 these days, like how much they get involved. Think about a Tiny, how much they can do at 15 minutes. Wraith King these days, Armlet Dezo, you're smacking at 15 minutes. Spec at 17 with an Ags, it's like, not really doing powerful output.
Yeah, fair enough. And Wraith King, we talked about this here a lot, but currently the most winning hero in Dota is to just reincarnate for the win. Pub Dota, doesn't matter whether it's Divine, Immortal, or Herald, it's just heroes just good.
So, another point on top of this one. So I think with Wraith Kings, at least in my experience and also from what I've watched, feels like the Armlet Dezo build is the one. It's not this snoozy, raidy farm late game. To the point about POS 1s needing power in this mid-game period, I think when you think about the POS 3s, it's a much more utility POS 3. The big team fight spells or the utility item builds like mechs and HOD or HOD2. With that, you've got a lot of power being put on the shoulder, or you have to have a lot of power put on the POS 1 shoulder because the POS 3 is a utility. And I feel like that's where you then get this great natural synergy and perfect fit with a big powerhouse Tiny Wraith King at, the same minutes I said. Whereas a slower, Spec's not a hero that's carrying the mid game. It's very much carrying the late game, and it feels like the heroes that are strong and in play do not synergize with that. Maybe if you've got some Tinker draft and you've got some Haunt Tinker bullshit and you've got some games that obviously will win, but it's winning 45%. Also, that's pretty shit.
The Wraith King is getting empowered.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you've got if you buff up a Spec in the mid game,
it doesn't do the same.
Doesn't do anything because it's still just a late game tank beast hero. Where if you're buffing like a Wraith King Tiny, more huge tempo. Crits. They're smashing the mid game.
Huge crits with Armlet and Death. It's like actually synergizes really well. That's what we played in RD2L when I played Magnus.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying about the mid game being really important, and we've seen that at TI, right? Because all the games if you just take the grand final in isolation, all of those games were decided in the mid game. They were all over probably in the early mid game. You could tell who was going to win. And even in the game when Spectre won, it's like you said, it was picked to sort of enable the Tinker. The Ags gets tons of vision, Tinker stuff, like Bloodseeker flying in, like it sort of allowed the hero to have impact. And in the other game where Spec was picked, they lost in 24 minutes. It's not like in previous meta games where you pick a Spectre, say TI8 for example, you pick a Spectre and the meta seems to be in such a place that you are able to have winning chances by being behind and by dragging the game and just having late game. Having said that, we talked last week about how having the late game seemed to be important at TI. So I don't know, it's a muddy picture, but I definitely know what you're saying. It's like Spectre, you're relinquishing so much if you pick Spectre in terms of your control in the mid game. That's what most people don't like about the hero anyway.
Yeah, it feels like you need some presence from the one.
Yeah.
The Bloodseeker's also, I didn't realise, but the Bloodseeker is a Spec synergy as well with Thirst, and then you jump on a target because you got vision of them. Or is that correct? Or is it only Bloodseeker that gets vision?
No, everyone gets vision.
See.
Yeah, okay, so that's another nice synergy for the Spec.
You need a bounty hunter, or you just need a Nyx. You need to see, or just good wards. But
let's look at some of these heroes that weren't contested at all. We have. Well, actually, first I'm going to do a test. What heroes weren't contested at TI? Let's see how many you guys can remember.
I think I've seen one of them on the notes.
Which one did I write on the notes?
I used to have the list. I didn't write any. I think I posted it, but
who was uncontested? Techies?
Yep, Techies is one of them. This is the stat corner. Which heroes weren't contested at TI? How many of them can you guess? I know them all now. I'm looking at them. Techies is one.
Ricky?
No, Ricky was contested. I would say one of Adam's favourite heroes is here, one of my favourite heroes is here.
Was Lich?
Lich was picked, yeah.
Okay. I didn't see it.
One of Adam's favourite. Lich CM is the only two that springs to my mind for an Adam favourite.
No, I mean, one of my favourites then might be easier. Two of the heroes on this list are in my top 5 most played. So yeah, Meepo's up there.
OD?
Meepo was uncontested. OD was uncontested. Spirit Breaker was the hero I was going for Adams. Uncontested.
Spirit Breaker wasn't picked? Yeah, that's right.
Or banned, yeah. Not picked or banned.
That's...
Very nasty.
He's better than that.
Yeah,
one of the worst heroes in Dota, I think we can all agree. Like, got gutted by Ice Frog recently.
Broodmother,
yeah.
Coddle.
Although, interestingly, Brood's win rate in pubs is really good, I guess, but the pick rate is 1.4%, so it doesn't matter. Ignore that. I think we have 2 heroes left.
Keeper the Light?
No, Cotter was there. Cotter was at TI, made an appearance.
2 heroes.
One is a pub stompy hero that is always better in pubs than pros, and then the other is surprising. The other is one that's usually quite a staple. Was
Huskar picked?
Huskar was contested. I don't know whether he was picked.
Was Sniper ever?
Yeah, Alliance tried to make Sniper work.
Did they on who?
Limp played it twice.
Wow, did he?
Yeah. I would say Kotl never won a game. Kotl was winless, but it was picked. So the hero I was thinking for that's a pub stomper but is never too good in the pros is Zeus. Zeus was uncontested.
Pub stomper, Zeus? Do you think?
For the first, 2 years I was in Dota, he always had the highest win rate. It was him and Lycan. Zeus Lycan always at the top of the leaderboards.
Zeus, wow.
Not so much anymore, maybe, I suppose. I don't know where he is, but I always think of him as a pub stomper because he crushed the win rates for so long. Yeah, I mean, he's got a 50% or 49.5% win rate, even though he's unpicked at TI, uncontested. He's always better in pubs, I suppose, just because of the nuke. And then the last hero, I don't know what clue I can even give for this hero.
Well, attribute. Primary attribute.
Agi.
I thought it'd be an Agi. I'm sure there must be some snooze, crappy Agi hero that didn't make it.
Carry.
Yeah.
Agi Carry.
Yeah.
I need to look at the hero list.
I have a 75% win rate on this hero.
On an Agi Carry? You sure?
I'm sure. I have an unbelievable 75% win rate.
What, 4 games?
It doesn't matter how many games.
It has to be 4 games now.
What?
A very unloved Agi Carry, very, very low pick rate, always in pubs. Always at the bottom of the pick rates.
I'm not looking at the hero list. I'm really trying to think. Do I ever play it?
But
I doubt it.
No, you don't. It's a pro game hero though. Like pros play this hero very well, or some of them play this hero very well.
Sounds technical.
It is technical, yeah.
Who's this technical hero that can't
I've been tricked. I don't know.
Agi? Are you sure it's Agi?
Naga.
It's not Naga. It's an Agi hero that's 3 out of 3 complexity in Dota 2 client.
Yeah. What? I imagine it is, but what hero is this?
There's I don't know. It's hard for me to give you a clue without completely giving it away now. The viewers are probably screaming. But yeah, technical Agi Carry.
Has it got illusions or something?
It's not got illusions. It does have a summon though.
Oh, is it Lone Druid?
Lone Druid.
Technical, okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, Lone Druid. Unpicked, which is surprising because you think about some pros out there like Matu.
Kuiper.
I guess, yeah, Kuiper wasn't at TI, but...
Wasn't at Math.
No, but... Lone Druid, like, you do expect to be picked up by a pro team to just run like an LD strat, but wasn't to be this TI. Any of those... Oh, actually, I'll run through heroes that didn't win a single game as well. So we have like a long list of just trash heroes, I guess, according to the pros. Axe, Pudge, Enigma, Warlock, Dazzle, Omni Knight, Alchemist, Brewmaster, Kotl. Those heroes didn't win.
One of them was in the grand final. Axe, smiley face.
Yes, sure was, yeah. Yeah, Claps Axe. That's, yeah. Which of those heroes, or like out of all the heroes we mentioned, uncontested and haven't won, are there any that you have any comments on? Like what needs to be changed maybe to make these heroes any good, or like any that you're surprised by that you actually think are pretty good in pubs?
So Enigma was up there, right?
Yeah, Enigma hadn't won. It was picked but didn't win a game. Or it's maybe got one pick.
I wonder with Enigma, because I did feel like, it's such a big team fight, tournament hero. I wonder how much you got picked in scrims, and if teams were... I mean, this comment applies to this whole list you've given, to be honest. If there were any heroes picked up a few times in scrims and then get absolutely mauled, and teams just go, it's figured out, and we just drop it entirely. I wonder if that ever happened with a hero. Because there must be fair bit of experimentation in the...
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened with a hero like Alchemist, which didn't win a game, because it's sort of surprising. Alch's a classic
You
TI
can't even
hero.
cheese a win.
You can't cheese a win with Greevil's Greed, or like even cheese a win with Gifting Ags.
Like a mag, Alch, strat, even.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising not to see that, for sure.
Wait, sorry, what did you say? Alch was picked, though.
Yeah, just didn't win a game.
Oh, but he had 970 GPM, so he lost with 970?
I suppose so, yeah, he must have done.
Yeah, because you always pick the over 1,000 thing. The prediction.
Maybe the change to the mana regen on the ult was just too much, because I feel like that was a big one when that happened. What does Techies need, Adam, to be relevant?
Nothing. People
Techies
just to have no shame, I guess.
I feel like pros, when you get to the pro level, it flips, and you're no longer like ashamed to play Techies or Pudge. Now you're like considered a god if you can make it work. But in pub Dota, it's just shame if you play Techies.
I think the hero's okay. We lost that. I think Marco and I lost the game where this Techies just took over. Got the Ag Shard, so the E stunned. And just kept blowing us up. We had a lead, but then you just lose your lead because people just randomly explode.
Yeah. It's interesting for me to think about what Meepo needs. I'm not really a Meepo player anymore, to be honest. It's been so long. But I would definitely like to see Meepo and Huskar and Brood. I mean, I know it wasn't long ago that Brood was crushing, but I'd like to see all of these heroes relevant enough in pro games, because I quite like seeing pro teams play with and against these very well-defined cheese strats. We talked about this before. Like, it's very fun watching a team play against Huskar. Like, how do they do that sort of thing? Or a Meepo or something like that. But Meepo, man, is just so trash right now. So easily answered by all of the heroes. It just takes nothing to answer a Meepo now. And I mean, also the meta's in a really bad place for Meepo. It's terrible against Elder Titan. It's terrible against Shaker. It's terrible against Tide. It's terrible against Tiny. It's terrible against Monkey King. It's bad versus Invoker. Well, it's pretty good versus Invoker. But those are all very highly picked heroes that Meepo really struggles against. So it's not helped by the meta, and the hero's in a really poor place anyway. It's sort of surprising to not see the hero crush the statistics, and it's not crushing the statistics in terms of win rates. So that just goes to show that even the power of smurfing in Divine Plus can't pull Meepo up to a respectable win rate. Yeah. It's got less than 1% pick rate, 0.87%. It's so poor, that pick rate. In fact, it's the least picked hero in Dota. Chen, more people pick Chen in Divine Immortal than pick Meepo. That's when you know the hero's struggling.
That's dark.
That's dark. When you mentioned the watching pros play cheese heroes, I watched the TI7 highlights thing recently, and it draws attention to Team Liquid 2-0 LGD in a lower bracket semi-final, and in game 2, 25-minute win, Liquid have both a Broodmother and a Huskar in the draft.
Yeah.
They were the days.
That Team Liquid, that TI run, that was good stuff.
They just cheesed everyone.
I still have a fond memory of watching TI at Nick, friend of the pod, Nick's house, and Brother Joe was making food or something and missed the draft of the game when it was Dazzle Huskar Brood.
Yeah, that's it.
Poked his head round the corner and was like, what is this? This is the most disgusting draft I've ever seen. And then we were like, yep, that's what's happening right now. It's not only is it Huskar Dazzle, it's also Brood. I can't remember who they were playing against. Was it like LGD or LFY or something?
It's LGD.
Yeah, and I remember just being like, oh, God, I just would not want to be in this game if I was LGD. It's just so rough.
It's a last pick Brood. Second phase, Huskar Dazzle. Yeah, that's grim, that.
That's some nasty stuff.
I know. I'm not sure I want that in my pubs.
Yeah, pubs is another thing, but pros, make them. I mean, they're the professionals. Make them deal with these cheese heroes. I want to see it done.
A hero that I would like to come back, but I want them to revert to how they were many years ago, which is Brewmaster, Panda Brewmaster. I actually used to really like playing this in pubs and going phase raidy, mid, run at heroes, and you'd just be strong and your clap would be really strong, and then you were never you weren't reliant on the ult. But nowadays it feels like, oh yeah, you're this ult merchant, and then also I just can't be bothered with these new, just give me a passive drunken brawler, and then there's some sort of cinder brew spell which I still don't understand. Like you do an AoE of alcohol, but then you have to use a spell to ignite people on fire. It's like, what is this trashy mechanic? Honestly, just keep it simple. Make brew powerful, damage, strength. All right, then we'll be happy. I don't get this ignite weird stuff going on.
I don't think, is that even a thing anymore?
Yeah, it is. But this is the compromise, because originally they made it so you did a pool of alcohol and then you needed a fire spell to ignite it, which was like the dumbest. That had never been done in Dota before. Like, people were making like Pokemon jokes. Now the heroes are going to have like fire types or whatever. And then they got rid of that, but the compromise was now you just cast any spell and it ignites the alcohol. But it's still just silly. It's just a weird, unnecessary mechanic.
Sounds trash.
Yeah. I agree, though. The direction of Brewmaster, I think, is very clearly ult-focused, and it's picked with Ags and Shard, where just everything's on the ult. Ags Refresher, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. That's like the classic build. And it just feels really hard for Brew to be anything other than a kind of gimmick. It's kind of fun. I personally don't mind it, because I quite like the ult, but it's definitely
I hate the ult. I can't be asked the micro.
Yeah. Well, that's the only fun thing.
25 matches, 72% win rate, and this is all pure phase boots. Blink is the build, followed by I have got some agonyms here.
Didn't it used to be different? They changed it. Back in the day, Ags was different. I don't know what it was.
I think back in the day, it just buffed the strength of your ult. I think it was something really basic. But yeah, I'll still force them to get in it, but after a blink.
Cast your main spells. You can cast like...
Oh, that was it. You could use Thunderclap
on the Earth Panda. And the...
Is that not still the...
Old W on the... Yeah, they all got...
They all got spell.
One component, yeah.
And then there's some raidy builds here. Some Vlads. Yeah.
I'm on the guides in Dota Buff, and the top guide is Rady, 15-minute Rady. So you're missing out. Although then he goes Rady Ags Refresher, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I can't bother.
How does Rady work when you're in alt form? Does anything get Rady? Does the Earth Panda get Rady?
The Panda, Earth Panda.
That's part of the synergy, I think.
Interesting. Any other heroes we want to shout out here, or any other like strat meta points we want to make before we wrap things up? Any advice for those hitting ranked for the first time in a couple of months after TI? Keep it PMA, keep it BSJ.
Give me Marcy.
Give me, yeah.
Is it fall yet?
You asked for you to tell us, Adam?
Yeah.
What?
We don't have fall over here.
We don't have fall.
You need to tell us.
Oh.
It's
technically
autumn.
fall.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Autumn.
You're just being snooty on me. I get it. My bad.
Yeah.
Genuine question, are we at fall? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
It's almost winter.
Yeah.
Fall is winter. Well, we're literally not there yet. We're at autumn.
That's what fall is. Fall is autumn. It's the same thing. So
Adam
if they don't...
I was saying it's almost winter time. Like, we are solidly in autumn right now. Winter starts December 21st. So I guess they have 2 months.
December 21st is when winter starts. Is that like some official thing?
Solstice or whatever.
I feel like in the UK, it's done by 3-month gaps, isn't it? December, January, February is winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so blinking Valve making the most out of these strange...
Valve time. We're going to get it for Christmas.
I think it was... I'm pretty sure it was Christmas Day, or maybe a Boxing Day, that they released Wind Ranger and Kunkka. Someone should be able to verify that, but I'm pretty sure that happened one year.
Interesting. Christmas.
Yeah, I remember trying them out with brother Joe at home, and like you couldn't use the ghost ship because you'd press where you want it to go, and then it would finish like a weird distance further, and then you got all these skill shots and Wind Ranger. That was a good Christmas, so... If you have to...
all the devs are... none of them are at work, so just the bugs just stay in the game.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I wouldn't mind that.
If Marcy's not POS 1, I'm honestly going to League of Legends.
Yikes.
That's how tilted I'll be.
I mean, it should be, right? Shouldn't it? What was the last hero? Dawnbreaker? Sort of weird core/support thing. I'm not so sure. It wouldn't surprise me if it's not. I hope
the last POS 1 was Monkey?
Yes.
Right?
The last proper POS 1, yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, Monkey wasn't POS 1 on release. It was POS 4. They had to change the hero so much to make it POS 1. It was POS 4 for the longest of times when it first came out. And now it's POS 4 again. You saw a bunch of POS 4 TI.
POS 4, POS 2.
Monkey's an interesting one. Yeah, we'll see. There's been a lot of these, Void Spirit, Pango, Dark Willow, Grimstroke. Where's the ones? So yeah, maybe Mossy will be one. We'll see.
We've also got the anime to look forward to. Oh, I think it said Jan 22.
Yeah.
So that's a while off.
All right, well, that was episode 100 and something, 100 million, 159. Join us again next week for EP 160, and stay safe out there in your post-TI pubs.